Trick or treat!
Happy Halloween, everyone, from Unfazed Review.
Whoa!
I'm Ben.
I'm Emmett.
And today we're going to celebrate Halloween with you guys. As you can tell, I got a pretty intense sunburn on my dome here in my face. I went hiking this morning and brilliantly did not wear any sunscreen, so I'm feeling it. But you know, it is what it is.
There are people who cannot tan. Every time I've tried to tan, it just ends up being a terrible burn, and then it goes away, and then I'm back to square one.
It's quite the burn. Sometimes if I get enough burns, it can stay tan for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what they say about tans?
They, yeah.
I don't have a joke there. Anyway, happy Halloween.
Yeah. Instead of stogies, we got, I got my favorite candy corn. I know some people don't like it, but I like really fresh candy corn.
I like it when it's fresh.
Yeah.
We got chocolate-covered pretzels right here.
Beautiful.
Big advocate. They're amazing. Super good. Milk chocolate, specifically. But I'll eat them in anything. White chocolate, dark chocolate. Doesn't matter. Just a fat kid at heart. So I was going to say, what is your earliest Halloween memory?
I think the earliest costume I wore that I can remember, I don't remember how the night went, but the first costume I had that I vividly remember was Pod Racer Anakin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Circa 1999.
Yep. And I think that same year Max had his scary Darth Maul outfit.
That's a perfect
Really scary mask and a very...
Didn't that mask brighten you?
Yeah. Scared the shit out of me, yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. That's what the fans really want to hear.
That's right. Yeah, it was an elaborate costume. It came with a lightsaber and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was a fairly cheap lightsaber, but it was one of the... It was you could tell the blade part was cheaper plastic, but it just had two little
those ones that would like fold into each other.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Those are awesome.
Dented very easily.
Yep.
But yeah, and the mask was not, it was like a full rubber mask, but it just didn't fit it very well, so the face was kind of pressed in.
Ooh, listen to the howls.
Yeah.
It's actually the sirens. There's a lot of crime.
Yeah.
But equally scary.
But yeah, it was like this pressed in gaunt mall mask. I mean, it's scary. It's basically scary anyway, and so I was like a little kid, and
I'm a gigantic one.
freaked me out. And I remember
I used to like to do this. I still like to do it. Hello, I'm Dracula. Hello.
My costume was not as elaborate. It was cool to have like the Anakin garb and everything, like his tunic, but then the goggles and helmet thing was just like a very crude plastic mask, and then like one of those strings that was tied in the back.
Gotcha.
It was really uncomfortable and never like sat right.
It would have been better
So
to just go maskless and just have the helmet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The goggles are kind of like askew all the time, and but
What are you supposed to be? I'm Jake Lloyd.
yeah, just a regular Jake Lloyd. And then after that, the most embarrassing. Well, I had a couple of embarrassing costumes. I had a friend who was really into And One and street ball and all that stuff. And one year I essentially just dressed up as like a wigger with him.
Wow.
I had like a I looked like Eminem basically. I had like
classic.
a jersey and a white beanie and everything.
Did you feel really tough?
And a bunch of sweatbands.
You're walking with swagger?
Yeah, walking with a lot of swagger.
That's hilarious.
And then
I would like to see that reenacted. That'd be beautiful.
And then another year, I think it's 5th or 6th grade, I was the baseline killer.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
Wow. What did he look like?
Well, there was like a famous sketch, and he had like a...
Oh, yeah.
He had one of those, I don't know what you call like a bucket hat and then dreads. And like I didn't like think by myself, like, ooh, I want to be the baseline killer, but we were at like a spirit store, and there was one of those like hair hat things that was a bucket hat and dreads. So, and I was like, that looks like the baseline killer.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
When would that have been? What?
I want to say 2005 or 6.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Baseline killer. Yeah, he was this killer that would kill off Baseline Road.
Yeah.
In Phoenix. And, dude, I haven't thought of the Baseline killer. Dude, there were some weird killers here. There was a killer, I don't know if he actually killed anyone, but I think he came close and, like, damaged people's vehicles. But there was a guy who would get on the side of the highway up by the 101, up in... where our buddy Alan lives. He lives like up by, you guys wouldn't know this, but it's like the 101 and around like Thunderbird, like around there. So like far West Valley. And there would be this guy who was like shooting a rifle like onto the highway and like hitting cars. And they didn't know where he was at. Like he'd like hide in the bushes at different parts of the highway and shoot at cars. And I think finally they caught him, but
I remember that fucking insane.
And luckily I don't think anyone got killed, but I think some people got hurt. Because it caused accidents, but talk about a fucking wacko.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the point, you know?
yeah, so we've definitely had our fair share of weird killers and aggravators here.
It's like what you do in Grand Theft Auto when you get bored.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Terrifying thing to do.
Yeah.
I remember that distinctly, yeah.
Yeah. If you guys are going to go crazy and do anything with weapons, make sure you're good and you're a vigilante like the Punisher.
That's right.
That's all I can say. Fight crime. My earliest Halloween memory, vividly that I have in my head, I must have been like 4. I must have been pretty little. Couldn't even tell you the costume. I know I've seen some videos of when I was really little, and like my mom putting me in like a costume as like when I was like 3, like the Scarecrow, from Wizard of Oz, and like the clown, like little baby costumes. But as I got a little older, I think when I was 4, I'm pretty sure I was Spider-Man or Batman, right around there. I think when I was like the earliest, I think I was Spidey, and then I think like kindergarten was like Batman.
Very cool.
It was like the classics, you know. Mm-hmm. But my earliest Halloween memory is trick-or-treating down our street, and I swear to God, as a kid, Halloween was a little bit colder. Global warming, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seemed colder, at least to me. And
October in general used to just be rainier, I thought.
It seemed like it, yeah. Now it's like literally like the recording of this is like late October, and like we're sweating. Yeah. Like it's hot out. It's like got out of the car, it's like 82 degrees, and it's like 9:30 at night. It's like it's hot.
It's hot.
But anyway, I distinctly remember trick-or-treating with my parents, walking down the street and going to this house at the end of the street that always was kind of creepy looking. It had like just kind of a sparse look to it with like one light out front, and like it just looked spooky. And I remember this dude came out dressed as a wizard, and he had this real long beard, and I have no idea if it was real or fake. Probably fake. And I remember I had this little Frankenstein bag that I used a few years that had it was like a glow-in-the-dark Frankenstein on it. And I remember him giving out candy eyeballs. And I remember like being like weirded out by that. And that's like literally it had like this flashing like strobe light out front. And that's like one of my earliest Halloween memories is this wizard with this handful of candy eyeballs and being kind of nervous going up to him. That's like my earliest Halloween memory.
Yeah.
I feel like I had some cool costumes when I got a little bit older. One of the last times I went trick-or-treating when I was like 10, I dressed up as the Terminator.
Yeah.
And that was a really badass costume. When kids could still walk around with a plastic shotgun and no one would say anything.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I miss those days.
And then after that, we would just deck out the entryway to our house, and Buddy Allen would come over when we were like 11, 12, 13, and we would scare people. And we would make like a haunted entryway, and we would like scare kids that would come up to trick-or-treat at the house. And I've always loved Halloween, man. It's always been one of my favorites. I feel like the older I get, like I just love it more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's one of those that just kind of gets better and better with age.
Just fun.
Love Halloween parties. We're gonna go to a big one.
Yep.
In Scottsdale this Halloween.
Will be fun.
So looking forward to that. I know a lot of people. Sorry, I'm dying over here. I know there's a lot of people in foreign countries that don't celebrate Halloween.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't celebrate Halloween, you can celebrate it with us right now.
You should.
You're an honorary Halloween celebrator. But dude, I love Halloween, man, and I'm going to see Halloween Kills tomorrow.
Halloween
Pretty
Kills?
excited. I already kind of know what to expect. I wasn't crazy about the last one that came out. But you're literally just watching it for Michael Myers stabbing people.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point. Yeah. I know the rest of the cast is going to be terrible. I know it's not going to have much depth to it. But it's a slasher, you know? Yeah. And Michael's the original, in my opinion. You know?
The scene I remember best in the last one was that poor, like, it's like blonde woman in her house who's like trying to close the blinds and shit. And like, then Michael gets like through her throat in the back. Yeah. That one was pretty intense. But
the best part of those movies, or the new one, was just that perspective, like over his shoulder, at him going and killing people. That was just like pretty badass. Like that's what we've always wanted, you know. I think nothing beats the first one though.
True.
There's something about the original that's just like super haunting. I think John Carpenter just executed like a perfect horror film, and that's why so many people tried to mimic it. Yeah. Like they tried to create like Friday the 13th after that, and even Nightmare on Elm Street movies like that. They all borrowed things from what Carpenter created.
And now Jamie Lee Curtis was like self-aware and trying to be cool.
Yeah. I'll always respect Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I'll always like her stuff. I loved her in True Lies. Loved her in Halloween. Halloween H2O, I thought she was great. But I like when they showed her as she got older and she was like not quite over what happened yet, and she was like this like older alcoholic like mom, and like they did a good job with that one. I liked H2O. But yeah, now she's, I don't know. I feel like she's kind of part of the woke culture a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'll always respect her, though. Hey.
What's the one isn't there one in space?
I don't think Halloween ever went to space. I think you're thinking Jason.
Yeah, I think Jason.
I think that was Jason X or something like that.
Fucking crazy.
But hey, speaking of stars, let's talk about the Alec Baldwin fiasco. Yeah. So kick us off with that, dude.
So I mean, I'm sure you guys know what happened. It's all over the news and Twitter and everything. And everyone is pointing this out in the beginning because it doesn't make sense. There are real guns that are used on set, but they're loaded with blanks. Mm-hmm. And then there are prop guns. Those are two separate things, right? Mm-hmm. But all the headlines were he accidentally shot someone to death with a prop gun, which immediately didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because you can't fire a prop gun because it's not a real gun. But so obviously he had a real gun that was loaded with a blank or something.
Yeah, blanks can still kill people.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
That's what killed Brandon Lee also.
Yeah, sad, man. And there were sort of conflicting stories about what was going on. There was one report I saw on Twitter that said he was ranting about Trump when he accidentally fired.
Really?
Yeah, which is bizarre to me. And then
that seems odd.
And there was another one which
that seems like, how can we spin this into something bad about Trump?
Right. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But the other one I heard that is like tragic and really stupid of him if true, which is what makes it tragic, is that the cinematographer that's the person he shot asked him to do another take, and I guess he'd done many takes. So like jokingly, he was like, I've done it so many times, I'm annoyed, I'm gonna shoot you, and then he shot her.
Let's hope that wasn't the case.
I really hope that's not the case, but that seems unfortunately plausible,
Mm-hmm.
We're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. It's like, I really like Alec Baldwin as an actor. I can't say the same about him as a human. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's probably, a lot of those people in Hollywood, probably a lot of stuff we don't agree with.
He was cool in Mission Impossible.
He was very cool in Mission Impossible. God, dying over here. He's cool in The Departed.
Yep.
Cool in The Departed. He was obviously very funny in lots of the skits that he did. Hunt for Red October, great. Mm-hmm. But, and something like that happens, it's like, I still feel bad for him, too. I mean, like, I don't know the circumstances yet. I'm sure more will come out over time. Yeah. But, like, I mean, you don't really come back from something like that.
Yeah.
It's like he'll still be able to live his life, but like he's always gonna have to live with the fact that he killed someone.
I know.
And he like seriously hurt someone else. So his career is probably not gonna be the same. His life's probably not gonna be the same, and I'm sure he's gonna be pretty fucked up by this.
Yeah, I'm afraid he probably won't make any movies anymore after this.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for the lady who died. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine just being a cinematographer on like a B movie, and you're like, "Fuck, you're dead."
Yeah.
Like, that's
Jesus. Yeah.
Poor thing. Well, it looks like she had a good run though. I mean, in her short life, it looks like she did a lot. I was looking at her IMDb.
Yeah, that's good.
That's cool.
Sad.
That's the least you can ask for.
Yeah,
but
she seemed cool.
Yeah, it's a bar. And then the director got fucked up too. Yeah. He's still in the hospital, I believe. I don't know how bad his injuries are.
How did he fuck up that bad?
They must have been like right next to each other. And like,
good lord.
Dude, can you imagine that fear though? Oh
it'll come out eventually. And then the other crazy thing is that I guess the plot of the movie,
there's probably footage from it.
I'm sure. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Hopefully not, but probably. Yeah. The plot of the movie that they were filming involves like an accidental murder.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be one of those movies that's cursed.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had a cursed film.
True.
There was a whole series that I watched a majority of on what the hell was that? Shudder? That like scary movie channel. It's like one you can get kind of like Netflix, but it's specifically for horror movies. I unsubscribed because it was kind of lackluster. There wasn't that much on there, but I had it for like a couple weeks. And I watched that series. I got it specifically for that series, and it was like how Poltergeist was cursed, how the Twilight Zone movie in the 80s was cursed, and all these people associated with it died.
Exorcist was cursed.
And those movies were like, it was super interesting hearing about it. But it's been a good, I would say, 25 plus years since we've heard about a good cursed movie.
Yeah, it's true. I don't even know if this one's going to come out.
It always finds a way.
Yeah, true. It's gonna be weird. No one's gonna be able to like watch it and just appreciate it as a movie. They're just gonna be thinking, this is the movie where Alec Baldwin killed the cinematographer.
And it's one that he was like super involved in. He was a producer and a writer on it.
Fuck, man, he really fucked up.
So it's like, damn. I just feel bad. It's like, how many people have to die from accidents like that for people to learn? Like, didn't we have a cautionary tale of this like back in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Like, it's been a while. Like, the fact that shit keeps happening in these prop. No, I don't know if it's really the prop master's fault, but the people that are supposed to be in charge of overseeing safety on the set, whatever title that is, like, you think they learned by now. Like, shit, man.
And it did raise like questions about like, hey, if it's easy to do muzzle flare and all that stuff with effects and post, why don't we just always do that? And that's a good point, because I mean, there's that whole rule that guns are always loaded, but then Hollywood was always kind of over that rule because everyone's pointing guns at each other and shooting. Yeah. So maybe let's just do that shit in post. It's easy to fake a kickback and.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's spend a little extra time and effort and money on that.
Yeah.
Instead of cinematographers getting blown away on set.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it for any movie.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
Jesus. Yeah. Crazy shit, man.
I know when they filmed, I think it was The Kingdom out here. It was The Kingdom or Sicario? I think it was The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner. Great movie, by the way. When they filmed that here, like, I don't know, 12, 13 some odd years ago, a lot of it was filmed in Arizona. And I believe on that movie there was a stunt driver that got killed on one of the highways out here too.
Wow.
And it's like I could see how that happens, but like another thing, it's like, man, let's work on that.
Yeah.
Those people shouldn't be dying to make a movie.
My mom watches those old westerns all day, and there's like crazy shit they're doing with horses.
Yeah.
I feel like they're fucking up the horses and fucking up themselves, like the riders.
I would-
all these like fake falls and stuff, but it looks painful.
I would love to know the real statistics on how many stunt people, actors, all people associated with movies, especially in the olden days, got really hurt or died doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know Cecil B. DeMille? Mm-hmm. Very famous director. Did a lot of classic movies. I heard, this is like urban legend, and please debunk me if it's not true, but there was always an urban legend saying that when he did, I think it was the Ten Commandments or something like that, he did this giant flood. And I think it was one of those movies, like something with Moses or something like that. There was a giant flood and like a bunch of extras drowned.
Holy fucking shit.
That could be wrong.
Christ.
Please look it up. I'm not sure.
I kind of believe it.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like back
Yeah.
then there was no regulation. Buster Keaton was just doing whatever the fuck he wanted.
Well, that shit's so dangerous. They have like
Buster Keaton,
lions hanging around with the people.
dude. Yeah, Buster Keaton, man.
Yeah.
Some of the stunts that dude
I
did.
know.
Absolutely, like I much respect to him, but like the fact that he lived to an old age blows
Yeah.
my mind. Some of those stunts that he did, like it's just incredible.
Basically, like all those old actors were like Tom Cruise now, you know?
Exactly.
Like always just running around, almost dying.
I heard when, excuse me, when they did the first Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson was so into it. The gun that they used was a real gun with a round in it, and he put it in his mouth for like effect for the scene where he's like contemplating killing himself.
Jesus.
There's a scene where he was contemplating killing himself, and there was a real round in the chamber, and he put it in his mouth. And I'm like, Gibson's crazy, man.
Fuck, man, yeah.
Gibson's
Crazy.
I love Lethal Weapon, though. I think Mel Gibson's an awesome action hero.
Yeah.
But, man, that's going a little too far.
Yeah.
That's a little fucking crazy.
But he's a crazy guy. I mean, he's
Mel Gibson's wild.
Yeah, he knows his shit, but he's fucking insane.
I heard there was a movie he did recently called Dragged Across Concrete, like within the last like 2-3 years.
Uh-huh.
And I heard it's him and Vince Vaughn. And it's supposed to be like really intense.
Him and Vince Vaughn are a weird duo. He
That's a
used
weird
Vince
duo,
Vaughn
yeah.
for what, Hacksaw Ridge or whatever?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yep.
Hacksaw Ridge, great movie.
Yeah, it's great.
That was one that took me by surprise because it starts out like a Hallmark movie. And
Yep.
everything's like but I think they did that on purpose because it was almost like
to make
showing
it more
how,
intense. Yeah.
how idyllic like the life back then was.
Yeah.
And then it's like he goes off to the war and suddenly it's like in your face, like blood and gore. If you haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, power through the first half and then get to the action. Incredible movie.
Yeah.
And actually I think it's the beginning is very important. Like it kind of sets everything up. And then it just goes. It does a total 180, and you're just like, holy shit! Like it was one of the most gruesome, intense movies I've ever seen.
Very good, yeah. He loves his gore, man.
Mel Gibson's great.
Fucking Passion of the Christ and
Yeah.
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto is really good. Yeah. You ever see the movie Maverick with him?
No.
That's a fun western.
Yeah.
That was a fun western. It was him and I think James Garner and Jodie Foster. It was a good cast.
Check it out.
I need some more Gibson. In
He
our
seems
lives.
like a violent, hateful man, but he's very good with movies. So.
Exactly. Yeah, he's one of those I can totally separate it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love a lot of the stuff he's done. He's
Yeah.
made some great movies, man. And as a director, he's like, even with all his like drunken rants and everything, and all the crazy shit that he did, where Hollywood like essentially blacklisted him as an actor. Just a couple of years later, they're like, "Well, he's a great director."
Yeah, right.
Because he's that fucking good.
Yeah, he's
Mel Gibson. But no, I love his movies. I think most of them. He does a really good job. Yeah.
We will
Candy
see.
corn for the babies.
Yeah, him and Vince Vaughn is just a strange duo to me. Like, how do they
Weird
meet?
hell.
Why do they like each other?
You never
It's
saw
so
True Detective,
weird.
did you?
No, I never did.
Holy shit. Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell, and Rachel McAdams are in season 2. Really
I
good.
like all three of those guys.
Season
yeah.
1's the best.
Okay.
Season 1's the absolute. That's like Matthew
That one's-
McConaughey,
yeah,
Woody
I know.
Harrelson. That's the one where like kind of hard to beat. Like Breaking
Okay.
Bad level good.
Okay.
And only 8 episodes each season.
Oh wow! All right, I'll check
Yeah.
it out. I like the shorter stuff. I'm
Really
not down to sit down and binge for like 4 hours every day for a month. Fuck that. I don't know. I can't do that.
I got True Detective. You can.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You can borrow
I'll
it.
do that. Oh, too kind.
But
check that out.
yeah, True Detective, guys. If you haven't seen it, 10 out of
Yeah.
10, man. Like season 1 specifically, Season 2 is really good, but season 1 is like, holy shit. Like,
That's cool.
Amazing show. Amazing show. 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. What have you been watching lately? You were telling me about a movie recently. It was like a sci-fi one that was good.
I watched that series with my mom called Manifest for a while. It wasn't amazing. It was just something to watch together, honestly. It was all right. It's one of those shows where you can tell they're just writing to write more to keep you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, part of it's like, ooh, what's going to happen next? You can just tell. It's like sci-fi mystery, I guess. It's the one where they like take off and this flight leaves in like 2013 and it doesn't land until like 2018.
Oh.
And for them, it was like a smooth flight, but then for the rest of the world, it's like, where the fuck did they go? And then they just come back.
That's interesting.
So yeah, the premise is cool, but then, you can tell like they're just writing for the sake of making more seasons and shit.
Would have been cooler if it would have been a little more removed, like if it would have been like 1998.
Yeah,
and like they land in 2018.
Yeah,
20 years would be way different.
Yeah,
like just a few years is kind of like Like I could catch up with a few episodes of Joe Rogan and watching newsreels, you know.
Well, there's like a dad and like his kids are kind of grown up, or at least he has like a daughter who was like 9 and now she's like
5 years is kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's a little lame.
But then like this same phenomenon starts popping up in different places. Like this guy goes for a hike.
Is it still on the air?
And then it's on Netflix and they're filming like the 4th season now or whatever. I'm not even going to recommend it. It's not good enough to, but
this is a highly recommend for me.
This is a highly recommend for me. I'm kind of against all the binging stuff lately. I'm just it's too much. I'd rather just sit down and be satisfied with something quickly.
Yeah.
Than
I watch mostly YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, I do. Usually, when I watch TV, I'll like pop on Hulu and I'll watch like old X-Files.
Yeah.
Or I'll watch like King of the Hill or Seinfeld now on Netflix. Everybody, hey, love Seinfeld. Yep. Those are like my go-tos. And I haven't really. The only ones I'm really excited about. I'm excited about Dexter coming back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you watch Dexter?
No. I mean, I know a lot about it.
It was a good show.
Bean likes it a lot. My dad.
Really good show. Yeah. That's one I'm actually excited about coming back. Except when we went to the Mad Monster party, we talked to James Remar. And he plays Dexter's dad on the show. Yeah. He's been, like, written out, and he's not in the new...
Oh, no.
He's not going to be in the new one. I asked him, like, are you going to be in the new season? And he's like, complained to Showtime. He's like, I'm not going to be on.
Wow.
And I'm like, that sucks. He's a great actor. Yeah. And he was very important in, forming the character of Dexter.
That's too bad, yeah. I don't know.
But still, I'm excited for it because, what's his name? Michael C. Hall. Great actor. Really good show. I just hope they don't fuck it up too much. Oh, speaking of fucking things up... I want you to react to the Uncharted trailer. Okay. So let's check it out. And, I guess we can just keep the camera rolling, right?
Yes, I have not seen it. I know that it stars Tom Holland and, what's his name, Wahlberg.
So, based on what I've seen, first of all, I hate that casting. Yeah. Those guys are okay in their own right, but them in this movie, I'm like, why? But I'm still going to go see it. I'm a huge Uncharted fan, but... I just hope they don't screw it up.
Oh, it looks dumb.
I hope they don't fuck it up.
It looks dumb, and PlayStation posted it.
Let's watch it.
Okay.
I want to be careful because we'll get flagged for Zeppelin. Because Zeppelin.
Oh yeah, we'll mute it. Places out there you can't find on any map. First of all, I don't believe Tom Holland's Mr. Stark voice is Nate.
Yeah.
There are places you can.
In the back of my mind, I just think of him being British.
Yeah. Please, Mr. Stark. Oh, I'll try better. I swear.
Like I was talking about when we were watching just clips of him earlier. He's just not that convincing to me.
I'm sorry. Below this says Ben Shapiro reviews Squid Game, and it's just his face, and it says Squid Game.
I love Ben Shapiro.
Holy shit!
Right. I just think this movie was really miscast. But
yeah,
I'm still gonna go see it, but it is what it is.
All right, so I just finished watching the trailer, and Ben was saying off camera that. Tom Holland looked very Spidey, especially at the end where he's jumping from crate to crate. It just looks too video gamey. And then there's that line that the lady says that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I said Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know I'm one of them.
Yeah,
I thought you said he doesn't have any friends. What the fuck are you doing? But yeah. So overall thoughts.
The big glaring mistake to me with this is that. All of those Uncharted games and all of the Naughty Dog games in general, the whole point of them is that they're cinematic and they look like movies.
Totally.
So making it a movie is kind of a step backwards.
And also a problem that I notice is they're trying to make it look like a game.
Exactly.
Make it a movie. Make it look like Indiana Jones. Make it look like Bond. make it look like what it's modeled after.
Yeah, it's a game that looks like a movie, so make it look more like a movie if you're going to do it at all. But they're trying to make it look like a game. And those two main characters have such a specific charm.
Yeah.
Nathan and Sully, they have such specific charm, and neither of those actors have that kind of charm at all.
No.
I just don't buy them.
Like Mark Wahlberg as Sully. Like, hey guys, I'm going to plug something that not enough of you watched when it came out. I did a video. And I spent a lot of time working on it. Yeah. And I hope one day it gains traction, maybe after this.
It is a really good video.
I spent a lot of time working on it.
It's actually a good idea. This movie could give it traction if
that would be good.
do it right.
I'll link it at the end. But anyway, it's Uncharted had it been made in the 80s. And I know some douche on there commented like, they did Indiana Jones. Fuck you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you didn't get the point, yeah.
So the point is, had they made the Uncharted movies in the 1980s, who would have been cast as each character? And I did Tom Cruise as a young Nathan Drake, and then I did Sully as Paul Newman, and characters like that, and Elizabeth Shue as what's her name?
Yeah, what's her name?
The name's escaping me.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Me too.
The girlfriend.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think had an Uncharted movie been made in the 80s, it would have been absolutely incredible. And of course we have Indiana Jones. That's kind of what he's modeled after.
Right, obviously.
You know what I'm saying. But I think had someone who really loved the game done the casting for this instead of trying to hop onto the popularity of the Spider-Man, Tom Holland era, it's kind of like you could have picked someone so much better. You could have gotten an unknown and then had someone really powerful alongside him as Sully to have that star power. Because the unknown would be amazing. But it's like Tom Holland, it's like, okay, yeah, he's fine, but in my mind, he's no Nathan Drake.
Yeah, the funny thing about this movie is that the casting alone is going to date it. Like, having Tom Holland as Nate is, like, such an obvious, like, ooh, he's in the limelight now, that kind of thing. That's like what I felt like happened with American Hustle, having, it was a puffy-faced chick who was really popular
Jennifer
for a while.
Lawrence?
Having Jennifer Lawrence in it, that really dated it for me. Like, Jennifer Lawrence really was never that good. For some reason, she was really popular for, like, 3 years, and then she was just gone, because finally
you know what I think it was? I think she was is a decent actress, but the reason she got those caliber of roles, look it up. Look how close she was to Harvey Weinstein.
Really?
Go back and look at some of those award shows of Jennifer Lawrence and Harvey Weinstein and how close they are and how many times she thanks him. Think about it.
That's fine. I liked her her breakout role before Hunger Games or anything. It was like called like Winter's Bane or Winter's Bone or something.
Bone.
Yeah. She was good in that.
And then Harvey gave her the Winter's Bone.
Yeah, right. Harvey gave her his Winter's Bone, and then she got very
mainstream.
Yeah, very mainstream and very self-aware.
Yeah.
Winter's Bone, I believed her as her character. I didn't think. Yeah. But anytime I watched her after that, I was like, oh, it's Jennifer Lawrence.
And my thing is, I really enjoyed American Hustle. I think it's a great movie, but could it have been even better with someone else who was like more like a Lorraine Bracco type?
Yeah.
100%.
I didn't buy her in that role at all.
Amy Adams, amazing. Amy Adams is one of my favorite actresses of all time. My favorite actresses are Amy Adams, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My favorites.
Yeah, I would say
Rashida Jones.
It seems like it doesn't make sense, but I would even say Amy Adams is like, obviously she's a blockbuster actress and everything, but I still feel like in the way the audience perceives her, she's underrated.
100%.
Like, she's really good.
100%. Like she can carry an Oscar-winning movie like Arrival. And not many people talk about her performance.
And she did Arrival and Nocturnal Animals practically back to back. And those are two of my favorite movies.
Yeah, amazing.
Ever,
amazing. Yeah. That's one reason why I'm actually excited about the new Dune movie. No. But what's his name? Dennis Villeneuve.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that directed Sicario and Arrival and Prisoners. Yeah, and he's doing
director,
Dune.
Yeah.
So that alone makes me want to watch it. Like the cast, I was kind of like, oh, they're throwing too much, modern star power at us. But then I saw that he directed it, and I'm like, oh, dude, count me in. Count me in. Yeah.
Bardem looks really silly, though, from what I've seen. Javier Bardem, he looks really goofy, and they gave him, like, that, like, sort of Lawrence of Arabia type turban, and his face looks stupid in it, I'm going to be honest, but it's got Josh Brolin, he looks cool, he's always cool.
Did he look better with the bowl cut?
Yeah, he did look better with the bowl cut, honestly. But I'm still excited for it.
Do you know about Berto Negro? Santa Claus's evil brother.
No, I'm excited for it. Let us know what you guys thought of it if you saw it.
No spoiler.
I haven't. I will check it out. I never read the book. I read a lot of Isaac Asimov as a kid and thought he was cool. But this was Herbert Hoover or some shit who wrote... what was his name?
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss wrote Dune, but it was the only one that he wrote of that genre.
Yeah.
Which was
one fish, two fish, red fish, dune fish. That's what it was. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the original. That's where the idea of those like sand crawling buggies came from, right? Isn't
I
that
think
the
so.
first? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Mad Max.
Well, I think it was Dune because Dune's like an older novel, right? When that idea seeped.
I think
into,
you're wrong.
That seeped into a lot of things. I went into Star Wars and
Yeah.
Tremors, obviously,
Oh,
and a lot of
yeah.
video games have that kind of thing going on. So
I'm very excited for Dune. They already greenlit Dune Part 2.
Oh.
Part 2.
I don't like that it has Zendaya or whatever. I don't like her.
That's like the Tom Holland thing.
Yeah, it is the Tom Holland.
The only
thing,
reason
yeah.
they're in movies right now is because they're okay actors,
Yeah.
but they're super, super, super popular. So they're like she's the it girl.
Yeah,
right now.
and why does she get one name? Is she like a fucking pop star? Why
She's
does
like
she have,
Cher.
Why does she have one name? I don't like that. Just give me your normal name.
Yeah.
What's her name?
You know what I find interesting about names like that, like Zendaya and like Slash. You know what's interesting though is like you never hear someone like talking to Slash and being like, "So Slash, what's your real name?"
Yeah, it's true.
No one ever says that. I feel like if I did that, I'd be like, I'm Blade. You know what I mean? Someone would be like, the fuck? You know what I mean? But like Slash, like I love Slash, but like I don't know Slash's real name.
Everyone start calling Ben Blade.
I'm Blade. Yes. But it's just funny that some people they're just like that's who they are.
Why? Why is she Zendaya? I never liked her. I never thought she was that good.
Hey, maybe this will win you over.
She seems, yeah, maybe.
I doubt it.
She seems like one of those people who there are a lot of actors, or not a lot, but there's a certain kind of actor that just looks like they should just be a model. And I don't mean that necessarily.
Kind of
a bad
like the
way,
main
but
guy in Dune.
Yeah.
kinda-
Timothy Chalamet or whatever.
Yeah,
he looks like
he kind of looks like he's from like a cologne commercial.
Yeah, he does.
Which
It's
I'm
just
sure
too
he's
much.
been in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too much with those guys.
He's doing a cologne commercial and it's just sand coming out from the dunes.
Yeah. And I just don't like that kind of casting where everyone's like super fucking like hot. Like
Yeah.
everyone's super studly and shit. Like just let's calm down a little
Dude,
bit.
I saw a trailer. Let me look it up. But I saw a trailer, and you know the Buster Scruggs guy?
Yeah.
They made him look like extra old western ugly for this new movie.
That's tight.
And he's the leading man.
That's
And I was
great.
like,
I want more of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's like a few like normal good looking like Hollywood guys in there and they're like the bad guys. And then you've got just this goofy looking like backwoods farmer.
Hell yeah.
And he's the leading man and I'm like, I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah. It's
I
so
love
great.
goofy
I love
backwoods
that, yeah.
farmer man. Let's see, new
I
western.
love Goofy Backwoods Farmer Man. That guy's a great actor.
He is a great
You
actor.
ever seen Leaves of Grass?
I've not. It's called Old Henry.
Old Henry.
Damn, I kind of want you to react to this trailer.
Tight.
Do you want to react to this trailer?
Yeah.
Right now?
Sure.
No?
Impromptu trailer reaction.
All right. I think it looks cool. It's going to be super independent. It's from Hideout Pictures.
Up at dawn, working the crops, rain or shine.
We can cut this into edit if it's
Discover
boring.
their source arrangements.
Oh, Mostly International Film Festival.
Good man, Wyatt.
Good man.
I ain't him.
It looks cool, though.
Stop fretting about it.
A Western that wins weird French awards is always going to be good.
Oh, yeah. That's like The Proposition with Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Australian Western. Super interesting. Good movie.
Let's go look for the rider.
This is one I want to go see at Fashion Square because I feel like they always show like those indie ones.
Yeah, it's true.
Is he alive? Barely. What do you think happened? Some kind of shootout? Stay here.
No, he fell.
Who the hell are you? My pa found you. I'll go fetch him.
I'm going to turn the brightness up.
No, it's okay. I was trying to see if
Turning the
that...
brightness up for baby. Turning it up. Hold on. It's a whole process. It's a whole process.
Oh, man.
Hang on.
My paw.
You hang on.
My paw.
You hang
My
on.
paw.
What? Anyway. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, no.
Oh, did I lose it?
Oh,
fuck.
nuts. Oh, yeah, we're right here. Explosion is happening. What's happening there?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
the back of someone's head?
Oh, did we die?
I think it died.
What you're talking about?
Why are you not working?
Oh, the classic trailer edit.
Yeah, of course.
I was about to tell you the same thing.
Riders. There gonna be three
It's
of
okay.
them.
Why does nothing work?
I'm Sheriff Sam Ketchum. We've been scouting for a man on the run. He's dangerous.
They ain't lawmen. They bank robbers.
Your last name McCarty?
That's right.
First name? Henry.
Why they didn't shoot you dead, I don't know.
I got this crazy idea. There might be more to old Henry who meets the eye.
Some shaky old farmer?
He didn't hold that pistol like any farmer I've ever seen.
Listen to me. What's gonna happen will happen quick.
He just looks the part.
He
doesn't
does, yeah.
You got a lot of fight for a farmer.
You have no idea the hellstorm you fixing to let loose.
This looks fun, yeah, I don't know.
consider me properly warned.
He looks like a character from Red Dead.
He really does, yeah.
Where'd you come from?
Every place on earth but this. Who are you, Paul?
Old Henry.
Looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I want to watch Old Henry.
Old Henry, yeah, it's one of those. I'm like, that looks pretty badass.
The trailer editors need to calm down though. With a movie
They
like
do,
that,
they
you know,
do,
I
yeah.
don't want. I don't want bass drops in my old Western
I
trailer.
really don't. I don't. Actually, that's what I want exclusively. Old Henry. Imagine a drop right here.
It looks cool though.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing. If you could do like they're doing with the Uncharted movie and bring let's say 3 games to life, but they do it really well. They do it like No Country for Old Men status. What games would you bring to life?
Shit.
On the big screen.
One because there was buzz about this happening in like the late 2000s, and I really wanted to see it happen. Was the original BioShock game?
That would be sick.
It was supposed to be
That'd be cool.
Gore Verbinski
Ooh.
was in talks of directing it, and the guy that was going to play the main character was going to be Kevin Spacey for a second.
That
Like
would
it was
be-
like about to happen.
Wow.
And it was about to sound amazing, and then it just stopped.
Damn, I hate when that
But
happens.
yeah,
They tease it, and the idea of it's magnificent, and then it just fizzles.
Yeah. But so that would have been
Yeah.
fucking incredible.
That would have been cool.
And then, wow, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say Red Dead Redemption or anything like that because they're already so good, and
Yeah.
I think it's like Uncharted where I think it's best
it
in
can
its
only
own
go
medium.
down. It can only go down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I would probably say a game like, wow, I don't know. That's a really tough one. What would you say? What would be one of yours? I'll try to think of some.
I would
myself.
say I'm gonna wait for Rolling Thunder.
We can give us time to think about the games.
Oh, wait, I think we're good.
Oh, I think so.
I would say Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah, if they could make that like straight up like Miami Vice, like if they could do it really well, like we're talking like Martin Scorsese doing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, that would be fantastic.
That
You know,
would be
Ray Liotta did the voice of Tommy Vercetti. In
Really?
That? Yeah.
That's badass. I had no idea.
Maybe that's why the two are kind of in my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Grand Theft Auto Vice City if it was done right.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to go old school. I feel like honestly, the Mafia games.
Oh yeah.
That would be
yeah.
pretty cool
Yeah,
to
right.
see, like a straight up 1930s Mafia movie.
Yeah.
I obviously Red Dead. Any of the Red Deads would be amazing. But aside from, I feel like that's so obvious though.
Well, it's just hard because they're so good already.
They're
you
so
know?
good already.
I mean, BioShock was so good too, but I feel like,
I'd like to see them take another stab at Tomb Raider.
yeah,
The last one they made wasn't that great. It was very lackluster.
yeah, they do need a good Tomb Raider game, and
Ghost of Tsushima.
that could be good.
That would be
that
sick.
could be good.
If they don't fuck it up.
Yeah,
If they don't fuck it
and
up.
on BioShock, a movie would be cool, but I almost thought it would be cool to have like an HBO series about the city before it went to shit, because there was like a thriving time. And there's a book called Rapture about that's like the city's called Rapture. Is a book about
all of
the
those
creation the
instead
city.
of being movies would be way better as HBO series.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That'd be cool. So yeah, like a show about Rapture and its prime would be fucking tight.
That'd be
That'd be
fantastic.
amazing. And I love the I don't know much of BioShock you played at all, but I like
very
just the
much.
imagery of like the Art Deco underwater city is so cool to
Really
me. There's
good.
something so
They made quite a few of them, didn't they?
they
Three
made
or four of them?
the three, yeah.
Three?
Yeah. The first two are underwater, and the third one is like in the sky, and I didn't like it as much. But the first two are just like they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's just something about just walking around in the city. I remember playing it as a little kid. I was like, wow, I really would have loved to live in this cool
That's
city. You know, it's one of those games that immerses
It's
you.
pretty
a lot.
dystopian, right?
Yeah. But it's really super immersive and just cool.
That's awesome, dude. Ooh, one that comes to mind. It's already been a movie, but they did the Warriors PlayStation 2 game way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And what was cool was it wasn't solely based on the movie. It was, but they took it a step further and they made origin stories for the gangs. And you
sick.
could go in, dude. I love if you can find it. I know for a fact you can get it on the Sony the Play Store. I actually downloaded it, and you can play the Warriors PS2 game. And dude, so much fun, made by Rockstar, so you know it's
Yeah,
good. It was
yeah.
like Rockstar in their early days.
Hell yeah.
And the graphics are so shitty now, but like it's the game still holds up though.
Yeah.
And you go to like their base and you can like have your characters work out and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then they have like arcade games that you can play. And when
Damn.
you play the arcade game, it takes you back to the origin story.
Oh, right.
And you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
a game within a game. It gets
That's
very
cool.
deep.
I love that. Yeah.
And I think if they did that as an HBO series showing the origin of the gangs,
That is cool.
That would be freaking fantastic.
Yeah, Warriors does need an HBO series.
Yeah,
so
the
we
Warriors,
got-
man. If you guys haven't seen that movie, get on it. Like the
That'd
Walter,
be a perfect HBO series.
the Walter
yeah.
Hill movie, dude. But yeah, as an HBO series, it would be incredible. And the game is just a blast.
Yeah.
Those would be my choices. Those would be my choices. All
Those are good ones.
right, guys. Well, we're gonna take a brief commercial break. Stay spooky. Eat some candy. We'll be right back.
Hey, Yellow. Check out my Halloween costume.
What are you going as?
A cannibal.
Oh. Ooh, that's dark.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
Oh,
I'm only helping. Snickers.
we're definitely going to her house. Shh.
This Halloween, nothing satisfies like Snickers.
Oh,
Trick or treat!
I hope it didn't scare you there.
Well, I know these are pretty freaky costumes.
Yeah.
Don't want to give everyone a heart attack.
That's right.
Anyway, happy Halloween, guys. I hope you're having a lot of teeth-rotting candy and watching scary movies.
I hope you're we're watching a scary movie. Hope you got some friends over. Maybe you're handing out candy to the young ones.
Pretty exciting. Or the old ones, whatever.
All the old ones. Yeah.
Old ones need candy, too.
When was the last time you went trick-or-treating? Did we talk about this already?
Last time I went trick-or-treating, I want to say 10. I want to say 10, but I almost think when I was in 6th grade at 11, I feel like me and my friends like almost did it where we were a little too old for it, but like we still were like, oh, let's do one round to get some candy. So I want to say 11. I want to say 11 was the last time. And I remember, I think it was almost like I threw a quick costume together because that was when we started scaring people.
Yeah.
So we would put on like, I had a Jason mask and a jumpsuit and we would scare people. Pause. So I told him, I said, hey, John, I said, what are you doing? And he looked at me and he said, Tony, come on. Why are you getting so serious? I said, I'm not getting serious. I said, it's just business. It's just business. And I looked at him and I pulled out my gun. I held it right up to his face and I said, suck on it, you mother. I said, suck. And he started sucking on it like a little bitch. Like a little bitch. And so I told him, I said, hey, look, quit pissing your pants and listen to me. It's just business. I said, you let this shit happen ever again.
Okay.
You're done.
I'm sorry.
I say, you're done. That's what I says to him. That's what I said.
Okay.
Put your thingy back on?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh, SpaghettiOs. These are not good SpaghettiOs either. These are the bad SpaghettiOs.
Bad SpaghettiOs.
Although I do love SpaghettiOs.
I do too. Anyway, last time I went trick-or-treating, yeah, I think we were 11. And like I said, that was the time when my friends and I started... Taking this off? That's when we started scaring people in the entryway. Making like a little makeshift haunted house. But I remember saying, oh, let's go grab some candy. And going with a few friends. And I remember one guy saying, aren't you guys a little old to be trick-or-treating? And we were like, it just hurt, you know? Because we were.
Yeah.
But we were, you know, it was the last hurrah.
He was a party pooper.
That last hurrah at age 11. And
11's not too old. That's crazy.
I know. And now these little fucks are probably going when they're like 16.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm Gen Z. I can do what I want.
There's like 13, 14-year-olds going trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Trick-or-treat.
Well, anyway. And then you got to give them candy, otherwise they're going to egg your house.
Exactly.
Which we did to that guy.
Yeah, there you go.
That guy, he was like, aren't you a little old? And I remember just like the anger sitting with us. I was with my buddy Alan. Shout out to Alan Himms. And
well, if they're mean to you like that, yeah.
Yeah, he was like kind of cold about it. And I don't think he gave us candy. It was something like that where we were like, for some reason, I don't think we got candy. I'm not 100% on that. It could be catastrophizing it in my mind.
Yeah.
But I remember we walked a few houses down, and then we went, fuck you, dude.
Good.
And we ran away. And then I remember we went home, and we got eggs, and we went back like 3 hours later, and we egged the guy's house, and we felt real good about it.
Hell yeah.
So that's why,
Good for you.
even if the kids are too old to be trick-or-treating, in your mind, you give those little fucks candy, because they're going to come back and take it out in your house.
That's very true.
And I think everyone knows that. It's kind of an unspoken rule. So he didn't give us a treat, so he got a trick.
That's right.
Yeah.
They forget about the trick part. Everyone remembers the treat part, but they don't remember the trick part.
Yeah, it's like trick or treat, and then he didn't give us the treat, so guess what?
You trick him.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, when was the last time you went trick or treating?
I think it was around the same time. I think it was 11. I think last time I want to say the last time I went trick or treating.
Like seriously, like you're trick or treating. Like not even ironically.
Yeah, I think it was around 11. I want to say that. Yeah, sixth grade, 5th or 6th grade, and I don't remember what I dressed up as, but I remember the year.
I was an army guy.
You were an army guy, classic.
Army guy,
Yeah. A good buddy man was almost consistently an army guy. Yeah.
His name was Joe.
Right,
GI.
Oh, man. In fact, there's a picture of me in the baseline killer outfit next to him, and he's an army guy, and we're like,
dude, we got to add a picture of the baseline killer just for reference.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. Let's see if I can find a picture of me with him too.
That'd be hilarious.
I was at, and then the year after that was, I think in 7th grade, I did an outfit, like I wore an outfit to school. Did you ever do that?
No, I wasn't a nerd. No, I'm kidding. I was, but I didn't do that. Yeah.
I only did that like sort of twice. In 7th grade, I was really into the greaser thing.
Cool.
And so the music genre that goes along with that is rockabilly. And then there's a subgenre called psychobilly.
Oh yeah, psychobilly.
So I was like a psychobilly in 7th grade, nice. And so I was decked out as a greaser, and then I had like zombie face paint on.
Cool.
It was cool. That one was kind of cool. And then in high school one year, we went to a Halloween party, and I just dressed as like a normal greaser, but like really nice. I got like the cuff jeans and the slick back hair and everything, and I like really did it up.
I remember we had a Halloween dance in junior high, and I can't remember what I remember going. I distinctly remember going, but I can't remember what I dressed up as. It was something like real basic. It was
Halloween dance?
It was a Halloween dance.
That's cool.
But I remember it was one of those. It wasn't that cool though.
Well, the idea of it sounds cool.
It was one of those that wasn't that cool.
Yeah.
It's something you imagine like Karate Kid, like 80s party. This was
our
like
Halloween party was lame as
hell. It was a super lame one, yeah. But I'm trying to remember what I was. I almost think like I brought a mask and then realized like, oh, like I want to try talking to girls.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna help, and like I think I brought a Scream mask, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where I'm like, oh, that's not cool.
Yeah.
And it was like, but there was nothing like original behind it, you know. I wasn't like a cool Elvis or anything.
One of my favorite costumes of yours, the most hilarious, like 2-second costume was when we went to Austin. And you had the elongated skeleton tie and just like party glasses. That was it. That was your costume.
That was
I thought
good.
It was fucking hilarious.
I was. And let me tell you, we pulled the ladies.
We pulled the ladies.
We pulled like
you guys have heard us talk about Austin many times, but it was during Halloween, so we need to talk about.
And we pulled tens.
We pulled.
I'm not even kidding.
No, we did.
We pulled tens.
We did well
in the most basic costumes. Well. You were Rorschach.
I was Rorschach,
and I had a skeleton tie and these goofy glasses.
And it was like someone went into like Microsoft Word and like stretched the skeleton out. Like it looked terrible, so it fit down.
Dude, I still have that in my closet. I see it every morning.
Every time I see that picture of us, and you're wearing that shit
every morning. Never getting rid of that. Never getting rid of it. We bought it at a little costume shop the day before Halloween.
We waited in line for like an hour to get to that costume shop
because it was like packed, and then we walked like 3 miles to get to it. Yeah,
we really worked for that elongated skeleton tie,
and it paid off. And when anyone asked what I was, I said I was Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
Yeah, I remember that. Distinctly.
Yeah, it's when I still had a bit of hair and I like made it messy.
Yeah, you had the forward spike kind of thing.
Yeah, it was fun. But that was, dude. Honestly, that was one of the best Halloweens of my life.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
That was magnificent. Mm-hmm. Aside from like being a kid and like the magic of being a kid.
Yeah.
As far as like being young and like being in like a fun environment, like that was the shit.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
And the bouncers were nice enough because I was 20 at the time, long time ago now. I was 20, and then my birthday is November 4th, so I was about to turn 21, and we managed to either like slip them a 20 or something, and then they'd let us in.
Yeah, we greased the palms at like 3 different clubs, and you got in, and you were able to drink and everything, which was
great.
awesome. Yeah. Underage drinking in Austin.
Had it been any other city, I don't think we would have gotten away with it.
There was the majesty there.
There was the majesty. I remember it was like magic because we were walking home from the film festival, which was boring as hell.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be walking down that street to get back to our hotel, and we were like, "What the hell is this?"
And it was
like packed.
Popping.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, imagine like the most ideal, amazing party you can imagine, like happening like on like a street. Like ×2.
It was like you turn a corner and then it's like Project X, but like nicer and cleaner and better. Yeah,
and like super hot girls, everyone in costumes, like live music, and like people spilling out in the streets. But it wasn't like shitty. It wasn't like the clubs here.
Yeah.
It was like people genuinely having a good time.
Just fun. You felt safe in it.
The smell of barbecue was amazing.
It was good.
We ate at Chupacabra.
Yeah. Hotties were grinding up on us, and then they said their dad was here to pick them up.
That was weird. That was weird. Yeah. And then I remember we were in such a zone there. Do you remember going to this one club and they were like all these girls dressed like angels and devils dancing that were like super hot, and going up to one of the girls that danced there and just like grabbing her and bringing her down to dance, and like we were just like in the zone with the chicks there.
And then the Brazilians that like danced in our hotel.
Oh yeah. There was something about that trip, guys, where like
I know we've talked about it many times in the podcast. But
it was so special, though.
It was
so
magical.
special,
And there's because we weren't. I think it was because we weren't expecting it at all.
And
We were there
also-
with our scripts, ready
Yes.
to like pitch shit.
we went there.
for, you
We
know.
went there for a legitimate, like, kind of nerdy,
Yeah.
kind of wholesome trip, and it ended up being the exact opposite. And we
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
Everything that went wrong, we turned into a positive.
Yeah.
Like, anything that started like fucking up at the film festival, we were like, well, fuck it, let's go get beers.
I
and
remember,
go hang
yeah.
out.
I remember we were so earlier on in the trip. We were so devout that one day we were like, we're gonna sit in our room for half the day and write. We were
Yeah.
like gonna write our script.
Didn't happen.
And no, it didn't happen.
I remember
we really had great intentions. But
I remember we started, and then we ended up just like reading some stuff and laughing,
Yep.
and then going and getting drunk. Yeah, that was a fun time, man. And
good one.
you know what I'm thinking? COVID permitting and time permitting, Austin in 2022.
God willing, God willing.
I think that would be awesome.
I'd love to. I'm almost frightened to see how it is now. But
Yeah, I mean, we got to go in expecting it not to be. I don't think you can replicate that magic
yeah.
because it's been long enough now.
Yeah.
Where it's like that was what 2014.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, time flies.
Yeah. Crazy.
I feel like when you go back and try to replicate something, like you're always gonna be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go in like with the intention of it being a totally fresh experience.
Yeah.
And another thing with us having such a good time there and being so successful with the ladies was, I think, because we were not from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something about being on vacation and like having a foreign scent.
Yeah, it's really alleviating. You feel like you're like a new character in a video game. You just started playing. There's a fresh world for you. You don't know
start
anyone.
fresh.
Yeah, it's nice.
Start
It's really
fresh.
nice.
That was a good time.
There's sort of a bit of a weight in the place you live because you
Yeah.
have this network and you have
Yeah, you know people.
yeah.
You're worried about what people think.
you have responsibilities. So yeah,
Yeah.
But then going out somewhere, it's like this. Yeah, this is all new. I'm a stranger. It's kind of a
Yeah.
really refreshing feeling.
Yeah, it feels like it refills your health bar.
Yeah, it does refill your health.
Yeah.
Bar. Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun. You kind of go as a different character.
yeah. Or it's like if you feel like you rode yourself into a corner when you're in a playthrough in a game, and you're like, I gotta start over. You try over. It's like,
That's what it feels like.
yeah.
Good analogies tonight. Very good.
Many video game analogies.
You know what's nice about this is I'm starting to feel the October cool coming in.
Finally, yeah.
Like it's still hot here. It's hot during the day. It's even hot when the sun goes down. Like we said at the beginning of the podcast, like it was hot when we
Yeah.
started recording. But now you can kind of feel the temperature dropping just ever so slightly.
It's true. It's true.
It's nice.
One thing that we should do, and I do this every once in a while during Halloween because I'm such a nerd, is I replay the Halloween level in Bully. It's so fun. You run around.
That's another one available. You can download and you can get the original on PS4, PS5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, love that. So
much
cool.
fun. I still have my original copy somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
One day we need to get a third guy. I'm gonna go as Jimmy dresses up as like the skeleton from Karate Kid,
Love it.
and then the nerdy kid is like the pink bunny from that other movie. Where
Christmas Story?
Yeah, Christmas Story. And then the bad guy is like straight up like a Nazi officer.
Oh, wow.
It's like it's cool. It's like a cool trio.
Wow.
I'd always wanted to replicate those costumes some year.
All right, you be the Nazi.
All right, I'll be the Nazi.
I bet Max Masano would be down to be the Nazi.
I think he would.
He
I
would.
think that was
He'd
funny,
have a good
yeah.
sense of humor about it.
Max Masano, let us know if you want to be the Nazi.
Max, we love you.
Yes, we love you.
But,
I'll be the pink bunny. You can be Jimmy.
I'll be Jimmy. I'd be a hell of a Jimmy. Let me tell you. Jimmy.
Oh man.
So we were just talking about this before, but I saw that McCartney said he's no longer going to sign autographs, and he's the other Beatle who's doing this. Ringo also doesn't sign autographs as of like 2018. And I was going to ask you, as a musician, what do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, normally, I think if it were anyone else, I'd be like, come on, just do it, But these guys,
Yeah.
I can imagine it. Like, it's not mind-numbing at this point for them.
Yeah.
Like they're the fucking Beatles. I can't
Yeah.
imagine how many autographs Paul McCartney has signed.
Quite a few.
But you got to remember, he's still a human being.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah, just like a chore and obnoxious.
he's
at
not
this
a
point
he's
to
not a
keep
robot
signing.
like Alice
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
You know?
And I think you'd mentioned that instead he prefers just talking to fans, which I think is that's so much more. That means so much more than just and I think that's what he said as well. That
Literally, when I read the story, Paul said no autographs. He said it's usually a picture that's unflattering of him that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And he said he'd much rather talk to someone about a personal story or a song that they like or something to kind of like have a connection.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, here you go, see ya.
It's so much more purposeful and special to have a conversation with them instead of just writing scribbling his
someone
name.
like Paul and Ringo, I can totally give them a pass on that because
Yeah.
like they're like in their 70s
Yeah.
or Ringo's 80. Like it's like they're older, He's like,
And instead of having a meaningful connection, you're giving them something that they might just try to sell at some point. Like it doesn't have any value beyond monetary value, really. I mean, it's cool. Like, ooh, he signed this. This was his hand was right here,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
honestly, it's Yeah, I get
like
it.
I love a good signed record or something like that. But like given the opportunity to like speak to Paul, yeah. Obviously, I'd much rather have a conversation with him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I would even forego a picture or anything like that. It would just be nice to have like a real moment.
Totally, yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I don't. I mean, it's hard to tell. I do get. I mean, the only band I ever had sign an album was Try Me Bicycle, and like no one gives a shit about them. I think I'm like their biggest.
But
fan.
you do, yeah.
Yeah, I love it, and it was like so.
Shout
special.
out to Try Me Bicycle.
Love them, and it was like so special to me that they could sign it, and I could meet them, and it was so cool. And I still am like, I look at the album and my copy of it and see that there's signatures there. I'm like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm probably the only one who really cares about that particular signature. But it means the world to me. So
yeah. I was like that with Brendan Benson. I met Brendan Benson.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I remember it was like I had a real basic cell phone. I was like 16 when I met him, but it wasn't like what we have now, where it's like taking great pictures.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like it would be kind of awkward to take a picture on that. It was like a flip phone, and then I remember that was like the only option. I almost think it was something weird, like the phone was dead or something. Like there was literally no way to take a picture with him. But I got to talk to him for like 45 minutes after a show.
Wow.
And like we hung out, he like had a cigarette and a glass of wine, and literally we shot the shit.
That's amazing.
And it was like we shot the shit, we talked, he did sign an autograph for me I brought a promo copy of his first album, and he was like, dude, where did you dig this up? Wow. He's like, where did you find this? And I was like, I'm a big fan.
That's awesome.
And he signed it, and I remember literally like I got to meet the other people in the band, and like we talked for 45 fucking minutes.
That's amazing.
And that like meant the world to me.
That's so cool.
And it was one of those same kind of things where I'm like, don't even need a picture.
Yeah, it's
like,
so much
like
better.
yeah, of course a picture would be cool, but having that moment, like I feel like, I don't know, you can't really replicate that.
Yeah.
Special space and time.
Same with when we interviewed Franz Ferdinand. I don't know if we talked about it afterwards. They invited us backstage. We hung out with them.
We hung out with them for quite a while.
Yeah. I remember trying to explain to their manager the whole Lefebvre's thing, and he like didn't understand it. It was like annoyed about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then the I think it was oh god, what was the bassist?
Do you know?
It wasn't. It was the other one.
Oh, Paul Thompson.
Paul Thompson.
He's a drummer.
Yeah, the drummer. Sorry,
drummer, yeah.
Paul Thompson gave us like ice pops. He like had this box. He was like, "Hey, you guys want some?"
I remember hanging backstage with them, and it was like so surreal.
Yeah,
like I always love these guys' music, and they're just like normal dudes.
They're very surprisingly open and
and what was kind of weird was like they didn't want us to leave. Remember they like brought us cans of Dos Equis, and they were like, "Have a seat," and we're like, oh, "We got to work tomorrow."
It was cool, yeah. And it was what was that, the Van Buren that we were at?
I was at the Van Buren.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. I remember us talking about how the whole area looked like a set for like a sitcom.
Yeah, really
it was
cool.
Really
backstage.
nice. Yeah.
What was interesting about interviewing Franz Ferdinand was that was one of our first real videos on the channel.
Yeah.
It was like before that, it was like bits of podcasts that we recorded in your room, sitting on your bed, talking on one microphone, no visuals, nothing.
Yeah, guys, the original podcast that was strictly audio is literally Ben and I sitting crisscross applesauce on my bed. So imagine that in your head.
It was the best. It was the best. Good, humble beginnings.
Yeah.
But, and I remember I was where the fuck was I? Oh, no, I was working at Crescent Ballroom doing security. And there was a band called Hot Snakes playing. And I was literally doing security up by the soundboard. And I'm like chilling there watching this punk band called Hot Snakes play. And I look over and I see Paul Thompson, the drummer from Franz Ferdinand, walk in with a couple other guys from the band. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, where the fuck do I know that guy from? Like I'm looking at it, and it's like, keep in mind, it's like a dark club.
Yeah.
And I'm like there, and I'm also working at the same time, so I'm like focused on security. And I look over and I'm like, holy fuck, like those are the guys from Franz Ferdinand. And I just straight up left my post that I was working at the time. I walked over and I was like, what's up, guys? Hey, you guys are amazing. Like, I really love your stuff. And he was like, so friendly. He's like, well, thanks, man. Thank you. And they were kind of buzzed and like very approachable. Yeah. And I remember asking him, I was like, hey, shot in the dark. I said, no worries if not, because I knew they were in town.
Yeah.
I said, could me and my buddy do a quick interview with you guys before your show? And he's like, yeah. He's like, hang on. And he literally took my name down in his phone. And he said, I'll put you on the guest list. He's like, be at the Van Buren at whatever time it was, like 5 o'clock or something. And he's like, and we'll do an interview. And I was like, holy fuck. And I remember I called you and I was like, dude, get the camera ready. And it was one of those where I was like, whatever plans you have, cancel them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're going to this. And that was our first interview with anyone.
Yeah, we kind of threw that together because that was like the next day, like midday. We
the next
them, right?
day.
Yeah.
And also it was like, this was like 11 o'clock at night at a club.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm like, I was like, dude, we got to get it together tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like,
so I'm still a little dissatisfied with the quality, like the technical quality.
The quality sucked, but for being our first interview with anyone, like,
and we had to throw together the thing because we weren't.
They were technically our first guests.
Yeah.
Because they were the first ones we ever interviewed.
It's a good first guess.
Yeah. So I remember literally at the end, he was like, so how many times have you guys done this? We're like, you're the first. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're the first. Yeah. So Franz,
flattering.
Franz Ferdinand were our first guests on the Unfazed Review podcast.
That's a great start.
Yeah.
A strong start.
Yeah, so that was a great way to start. And I guess the moral of the story is don't be afraid to ask, because the worst they can say is no.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I heard that advice from. I know it's cliche advice, but I remember hearing that from Weird Al Yankovic, and he was saying back in the '80s, the height of Michael Jackson, he wanted to do a cover of "Beat It," and he did "Eat It." And I remember he was saying, it was some interview where he was saying, "Oh, Michael Jackson will never in a million years allow me to do this."
Right.
And he got a hold. I don't remember how he did it, but somehow he was able to get a hold of Michael Jackson's like publicist. And then they were like, hang on, Michael will call you back. And he was like, what the fuck? And he got a call from Michael, and Michael's like, that sounds funny, go ahead, do it. And it became this big hit for him. And like fucking Michael Jackson had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's
so
funny.
the worst that can happen is they can say no. Like, give it a shot.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, give it a shot, guys.
And one of our good friends and Unfazed crew has been messaging me about doing some videos.
Oh.
Our boy Appalachian Exploration. And I just wanted to say to you, my friend, do it, because all your ideas are amazing, and I think you live in a very interesting environment, and I think people will love your stuff. And that goes to all you guys, not just Appalachian. I mean, I know he's going to crush it with whatever he does, but whatever you guys want to do, just fucking go for it, man.
We encourage you to create.
Because we started, in a dark bedroom with one microphone.
We did.
And we still have that microphone. But yeah, it's fun.
Oh, man.
It's fun to get at it, and like I said, even if you're not getting lots of views, like, you just gotta just do what you like, man. You gotta do what you like.
Very true.
And then you gotta wear funny hats once in a while.
Yeah, you do. You gotta wear funny hats.
What's the origin story of this one?
Oh, actually, I won that at a machine in Reno, Nevada.
Fuck! Tainted.
It is tainted.
No, I'm kidding. Reno's fine, actually. Reno's good for like a weekend.
Kind of depressing. Yeah, I wouldn't spend more than 2 nights there.
Yeah. What'd you go up there for? You were
Jazz festival.
Ah, jazz, jazzing it up. Yeah. You know where is a terrible place?
Reno.
I was gonna say Laughlin.
Oh yeah.
Laughlin's good for a couple. If you're going, here's the thing: if you're going to Laughlin and you're like a retiree, fine, have fun, enjoy. If you're kind of a weird person that wants to hang out there, enjoy. But it's not for us.
Yeah.
It's not for us. The only exception going to Laughlin would be if there was a concert there and you're with some really good friends and you just got hammered and gambled and went to the concert.
Yeah.
I could see Laughlin being cool for like a Friday night.
Yeah.
Aside from that, you stay in there for more than 24 hours, you're going to want to get the hell out of there. Yeah, Laughlin's kind of a mess. Yeah. I heard Laughlin's one of those few places that like annually loses population. Like eventually there's going to be no one there. It's going to be like one guy operating 5 casinos.
Oh man.
Running back
It's
and
a guy
forth.
playing SimCity for his first time and he can't figure out how to get the population to go
Yeah,
up.
Laughlin's a weird one. It's a place where if you look at it online, like if you guys don't know Laughlin, Nevada, Google it and look at some of the resorts and stuff there, like the Aquarius. It looks amazing. It looks like this like amazing spring break destination.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was great like in the 80s, but you go there now, it's just like kind of depressing.
Nevada's very hollow in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I
Weird.
love parts of it. There was actually I had considered moving there before the pandemic.
I
did.
Son of a bitch.
I did, and it has its moments. It has its places, but yeah, I definitely see how it's like people see it just as Vegas, which I know it's not. There's beautiful parts, and there's places like Tahoe and stuff, but I get what you mean.
Fallout, New Vegas.
Never played it. Fun?
It's okay.
All right. I'm always down for a Vegas trip, though. I think at least once a year you need a Vegas trip.
Yeah.
I think biannually is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, a colleague of mine went there a few weeks ago, and she said that the restrictions were incredibly high with COVID.
Again?
So
Damn.
we hit a sweet spot.
We did hit a sweet spot.
Everything had just blown up, and we could kind of tell that everything had just blown up, and there were no restrictions at all. But when she was there, she said everything was mask.
We went.
So we hit it right at
beginning of
June. I think.
Or no,
end of June, early July, I think. Yeah, end of June, I think.
I think it was end of June.
Yeah.
Or middle or end of June.
Yeah.
And it was this weird sweet spot where I remember like pool parties, casinos. The only place you had to wear a mask was the Haunted Museum.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was it. And I remember I was like,
not a strip or anything.
But I remember like casinos and stuff. No,
the strip was totally free. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like this weird libertarian paradise.
Yeah, it was.
Which I really enjoyed.
A blip in time, a wrinkle in time, really.
A wrinkle in time, yeah. But then you look at like California, super strict about it. Like the amusement parks, like super fucking strict.
Crazy.
It was annoying.
Do you want to talk about some of your experiences in California? The shitty ones or the good ones? Or?
Well, overall, the trip was great. Yeah. Like, James and I had a lot of fun, and his girlfriend. Like, we had an awesome time. Like, we found the enjoyment in it. Like, we all were able to have fun. And it's always, your perspective and who you go with and how excited you are. And, like, I love the theme parks. Like, if you guys watch the videos of Hollywood Horror Nights, or I keep calling it that, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. Hollywood Horror Nights sounds better.
It does, it really does.
That was a blast. But aside from the theme parks already being fun as they are, like they're intended to be, the people working there were real pricks, and they were real hard asses about the masks, and just were very, they were like disciplinarians, like barking orders at everyone. Didn't like that. The service anywhere you go sucks. Like, it was like, I remember, like, we had the hardest time finding our server at Bubblegum Shrimp. And I just ran into a lot of, like, douchey people. There was, like, a Karen that was, like, really shitty to me in line at Six Flags. And there was another Karen. It was, like, the angry, younger Mexican version of a Karen. Karen Jr. That was, like, really bitchy to me. And, like, they were just... People seemed to be kind of in a bad mood at the theme park. Yeah. And I think a part of that...
That's so funny.
I think a part of that was it was overcrowded. They let in way too many people. And it's like, it's fun, and obviously you're expecting a lot of people at a theme park, but it seemed like they opened the floodgates where it was like, like over capacity. It was like way too many fucking people.
Yeah.
And the silver lining was, though, for like the Universal, like we had the front of line pass, and Six Flags we had the front of line pass, because I figured you can go all the way out there and spend a whole day there. It's like, you might as well go all the way. So that was awesome, because we got to, avoid the line in most of the locations. But even still, just trying to get around, like, people were packed in like sardines, and I think that contributed to people being angry. And just LA as a whole is just really gone to shit. I mean, I know it's been shitty for a long time, and I know Phoenix has its shitty parts too. I know nowhere's perfect, but like, man, it was really noticeable, like the cracks in the steel, and like it really lost its luster.
I don't know if it. I suspect that it had something to do with the fact that everyone was holed up in their houses for so long, and suddenly it's like the slingshot effect where everyone is back in each other's faces, and we kind of forgot how to behave.
Yeah. I've really noticed that, and you've had some experience with that too.
Yeah. And what was funny is that right when you were first telling me about these disgruntled vacation goers, just minutes prior to that, I was in line at a Pita Jungle, and the guy ahead of me was ordering whatever, and long story short, he assumed that the worker, the employee, the person working there should have memorized his order. He was like really being mean to this guy. He was like, no, I never get that, man. You should know I never get that. You know my order. You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to remember it. Yeah, and this and it was like the employee was like this elderly Mexican guy, and he was just like trying his best. He was being quiet about it, and then when he gets to the cash register, he's like, "Who's your manager? I'm going to talk to him." And like, guy was totally serious. I'm going to talk to him. It was pissing me off so bad. Like, I was so close to saying something because I knew they couldn't. Yeah. But I felt like if I had said something, it just would have made everything worse.
Anyone who does that, who goes after someone who's like an easy target, who's just trying to work, like someone who's like someone who literally like tries to find a problem, then is like, "Let me get your manager to get you in trouble." Yeah. If there's really no problem, that person's a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, I was so close to opening my mouth, but I felt it just would have made it worse. But as soon as the dude left, I was like, wow, like I was an asshole. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Like, I apologized to them on his behalf. So like, I'm really sorry you guys had to deal with that. I gave him like a big tip. Like, fuck, man. Like, people just forgot how to.
Such a good man. A good man. A wonderful man. Such a generous man right here. What a good man. Bad. Such a good man. A kind man.
And then literally as I came to sit down and I started talking to you, you told me about all these shitty people in California. So I feel like, I don't know, there's something
going on. Be nice to each other, guys.
Everyone was, everyone just forgot how to relate to one another. I don't know.
Yeah, and James actually saw, I didn't witness this, but he went on a different ride that I didn't go on to. He and Kim, they went on, I forget what ride it was, but he said there were these crazy, like, kids that were, like, they were, like, teenagers. He said they were just being, like, really aggressive, and he said they were talking mad shit to the employees there, like, hurry the fuck up, let us on, like, blah, 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 blah. And literally, he said this group of, like, parents and mostly dads that didn't know the kids went up and were like, you kids need to get the hell out of here and be respectful. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that needs to happen more often. Like that old school like community coming together being like, hey, you kids are getting out of line, shut the fuck up and get out of here. Yeah. Like that needs to happen more. Like because you can't have a society like that, you know?
Yeah. I think we need to talk about this briefly because we're working off that. This is an important, weird thing not a lot of people are talking about. Kids of that era, kids are fucked right now. This sort of like Gen Z, post-Gen Z, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
People who are in like 6th and 7th grade right now were born in 2008-ish.
Wow.
Right when
we were in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, right when the financial crisis started. Remember that? And so I guess there's some weird statistic about how kids who were born in a time of crisis like that, growing up in an environment of stress, tend to have a lot of issues. And on top of that,
I think no one ever laid the law down for them.
They didn't. Yeah. And on top of that, a lot of these kids don't have a very long track record of normal schooling because of COVID. COVID has been affecting schooling for almost 3 years now or whatever.
Commercial break time.
Commercial break time. Right. We'll continue as soon as we get.
Dad, what are you doing? I was trying to get these Skittles, but I got stuck. Maybe I should try.
I say go for it. If you get stuck, I'll help you get down.
Moments later, I did help Billy get those Skittles, which sparked a lifelong friendship.
No way!
Sharing special surprises.
Matching motorcycles?
2 bikes for 2 bros.
Magical memories.
So I got 8 legs, and I'm not a spider.
Yeah.
If it says spider, I swear.
And endless laughter.
So I was like, arrest me then. I'm just kidding. I ate the kid. I ate the other little boy too.
Trap the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
50-cent corn dogs all day on Halloween.
Man, wasn't this great?
Are you going to let your corn dog go out without a costume on Halloween?
Well, the cornbread is the costume.
You want to borrow one of ours? You can go spooky corn dog?
No, I don't think so. No,
Okay.
I'm fine.
Scarecrow corn dog?
No, corn dogs don't celebrate Halloween.
Vampire? Like
yeah,
that?
yeah, I'll
Like
do
vampire?
that. I'll do that.
There you go. Good choice!
A treat you don't have to dress up for. 50-cent corn dogs all day on Halloween. This is how you Sonic.
And we're back from that abrupt but necessary commercial break.
So anyway, it's and I'm as like a teacher now. I'm really seeing the odd behavior. They just don't know how to behave. They're off the walls. But
What are the ages you work with?
I work with kindergarten and then 3rd through 8th grade.
Okay.
So
quite the range.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that the kids who are younger, like 3rd graders, 2nd graders, all that stuff, even 4th graders, they haven't seen like a single day of regular school in their life because like COVID has affected most of their school.
Wow.
So yeah, it's weird. It's stuff we don't think about, but
that's gonna mess them up in a weird way.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a lot of introverts.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of introverts.
But also, because of TikTok, there's a lot of like I don't want to call it extroverts, but it's a lot of fake extroversion, I guess. You know,
because it's trendy.
Yeah. They're all doing these weird challenges, these stupid challenges.
Yeah.
There's this new challenge now. You know those Bic pens, those like cheap plastic, like they're like semi-translucent pens.
No, okay, I do.
Yeah. So there's a challenge. You can tell it's like these kids are making up these challenges that are just essentially like taking classroom supplies and like fucking them up. There's a challenge where you take a Bic pen and like put like a textbook on it so it stays put.
And you hurt yourself,
and,
right?
Yeah, well, no, you don't hurt yourself, but you, since it's such a cheap plastic, you can take like the rubber band, the elastic part from your mask, your COVID mask, and then if you rub it over the pen fast enough and create enough friction, it gets like hot, and it's like it creates a little bit of that plasticky mist, and it just smells like shitty plastic, and that's the challenge.
That's dumb.
It. And they've all been doing that lately, but it's like
I remember when I was a kid, all the kids would get the hand sanitizer, go into the cafeteria, and huff it.
Oh yeah. What's wrong with us?
A bunch of fucking idiots.
I'm proud to say I was never one of those fucking insane, stupid.
Nor was I.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I was around it.
yeah. So there's a lot of just they're just off the walls now, and it's hard to get mad at them because I don't blame them. They are going through a very bizarre time.
Yeah.
Like nothing is normal.
And also,
them.
it's like they're not having the opportunity to have like really normal interactions.
Yeah.
And like every kid, like, and I know it's super cliche. Like I'm not the first one to talk about this, but like every kid has a screen in front of them from like day one.
I know.
Like it's like all these kids have like smart. Like back when we had our first phones, like they were pretty basic. You know what I mean? You couldn't get in too much trouble on it. But now it's like they got like the world at their fingertips, and also it's like the way social media is. I think it's like really distorting like their formative years.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's like boomer and cliche to talk about it, but I'm witnessing this shit firsthand every day. TikTok is like horrible for them. It's an awful
I
thing to have
I can't see it doing any good.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a horrible thing. None of them should be on it.
Like it has its moments, you know, but like as far as like kids developing, like, it's gonna fuck them up.
Yeah, they're already fucked up. Yeah. They can't focus for more than like 30 consecutive seconds.
100%.
It's insane. It's insane. It's totally messing them up. But yeah, I mean, it's just odd. And you know, when it was sort of the heat of COVID, and everything was like totally locked down. Everything was online, blah blah blah. And even now, there's something called contact tracing. So if we find out that someone has COVID, everyone who like sits next to them in all their classes also have to go home. So there's constantly these little sparks of like, all right, this person's going to go home for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so there'll be
how much you want to bet there's kids that are like, I don't feel good.
Right, yeah,
My
right?
cousin has COVID. I think I should go home.
It's
Like,
weird,
I'd be pulling that
yeah.
shit all the time as a kid.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's all these little sparks of, like, kids having to go home for large periods of time, and then you just got to kind of sit there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, the homeroom teachers will, like, send them their work to do and stuff while they're home, but you know they're not totally doing all of
There's
it.
going to
It's
be
just this
big
weird,
gaps in education.
Huge.
There's going to be these like third graders that are like, I never learned like to divide.
Right.
And you're just going to be like that's going to be a learning gap.
Right,
forever.
Yeah, Arizona specifically is already one of the worst places for education, and now these kids, they're gonna have it the worst. They're gonna be like the least educated people.
We got really lucky. We learned to read, man. Living here, going to public school, Jesus.
Yeah, it's sad. It's crazy. It's bizarre. Yeah, we need. I don't know. Someone needs to bring to light the effect this is having on kids because they're. But it's everything. It's not just COVID. It was the 2008 financial collapse. It's TikTok, and then it's COVID on top of that. It's like fucking insane. And I'm really grateful for the age we grew up in because
we're right on the cusp.
Yeah, we had that magic of the 90s, and all that electronic stuff was still very new and kind of distant.
The early 2000s was just like a product of that time.
Early internet was really fun and cool.
Yeah.
And then flip phones, and then it wasn't until high school for me, late high school, that I got my first smartphone and everything.
Yeah.
So
my first phone was like a real basic brick. Like track phone.
Yeah.
It was like real simple, and I got it actually when I was pretty young, when I was 12. But it's because I went to school far away from our house. And my mom was like, "You got to have this, in case you got to call me or whatever for a ride or whatever."
Right.
And I remember I was just like, "Oh, now I can text on it and stuff and burn up all the minutes." But it was real crude compared to what they have now, like real basic. But I can't even imagine what like having like a iPhone 13 is going to do to a kid that's like 7.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And they're all like making their own TikTok videos, and they're all like terrible and it's weird.
Yeah.
It's just it's weird, man. I feel
it's not
bad.
breeding any real creativity.
No.
It's just creating a culture of little parrots.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is. Yeah.
I feel like when you like pretend and play, which I'm sure some kids still do. Like I don't think that ever gets fully beaten out of them.
No,
but
I still see some of the kids like pretending to shoot each other and stuff. I'm like,
cool.
yeah,
right. That's fun. That's fun. But like that imagination and like that playtime is so freaking important.
I know.
And when you take that away and you've got like 10-year-olds like making TikToks, like it's gonna get weird.
Yeah,
it's gonna get weird.
Creepy thing today. We had a fire drill, and I had a 3rd grade class, and when we were sitting out in the field for the fire drill, these 3rd grade girls were like gossiping about relationships, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's weird.
You know, this girl was like, "He's a cheater," and I was like, "They're talking about this guy who's cheating in 3rd grade." It's 3rd grade, and I was just like bewildered.
Yeah,
I was just listening, and they were like right in front of me. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Sounds terrifying.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just really, they're introduced to this stuff too early on. They don't know what to do with it, and they think it's cool. Because I mean, you know, all kids in a sense want to be older than they are.
Totally.
And so that's why
it's a lot of mimicking.
Yeah. And so when they know about all that shit, they try to jump on it too fast, and it just ends up being this train wreck. And it's just, very weird, very weird. So I'm grateful for the time we were.
Yeah, we did. I mean, honestly, I wish like the best part of the time that we grew up in now is like having access to this. But aside from that, like if I could be the age I'm at now and it was like 1985, I feel like I'd be way happier.
Yeah.
Like way happier. If I could trade it in a heartbeat, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would. But the only benefit to now is this.
Yeah.
That like literally YouTube, the access to different technology, the food that we have, everything like that. Yeah, it's great. But would I trade this for the 80s? Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even the 90s.
That's true. Yeah.
90s are fun too. 90s are fun too. Yeah, it started going downhill after 9/11. I think the world changed.
It really did.
I think that changed the trajectory of the whole world.
Remember when we were hanging out? I'm not going to mention his name in case he didn't want this. But remember when we were hanging out at Cornish Pasty with Max for his birthday and everything?
Yeah.
And his buddy was saying he thinks about what 9/11 did to the world every day.
Yes.
And at first I kind of chuckled.
Because he's just a little bit older than us.
Yeah, he's a little bit older than us, and he's a little Kramery. He's a little eccentric.
A little Kramery, yeah.
But I totally understand what he means. Like that did
100%,
completely change the trajectory of everything.
You know what's really interesting is going back and looking at like a magazine or like different clips from TV from like the summer of 2001.
Yeah.
Going back and like looking at the trajectory of how the 2000s were going.
Yeah, I know.
You like go back and look at something from like July of 2001.
I know.
And then like you could kind of see that decade forming, and then it got fucking messed up.
Got destroyed.
It got destroyed, and I think that ripple effect is going to be felt forever.
Forever, yeah. And of course, as kids, we couldn't appreciate it or be aware of it, really. We were just kids. But in hindsight, I'm like, wow, things would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
If we would have been born 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome.
So think about what 9/11 did to the world every day, guys.
Yeah, every day.
Think about it.
But like I said, if we got to live in this alternate timeline, which we do, at least we have unfazed.
We do have unfazed, and we will remain unfazed through this timeline.
Yeah, it's nice to have this, and I do love YouTube. I mean, there's so many good YouTubers out there, and like it is nice to be able to go to concerts, and it's nice to be able to do. I mean, you could do that in the '80s too. I mean, there was always concerts. The 80s were better. The 80s were better. I can't justify. You know what? Fuck this time. This time sucks. The 80s were better. The 80s were better. If you take YouTube out of the equation and you take the compactability of like our cameras and our phones and stuff, if you get rid of that equation, modern times suck.
They really do. And honestly, I think there was some study I saw the other day on Twitter about how. I mean, there's always contention about this, but I think people know that too much screen time and stuff is a direct catalyst for depression and everything.
Yeah, I'm listening, but I want to pull something.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So I think the lack of constant electronic devices would have been a benefit in the 80s.
Totally.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're more in the moment.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before, but there was a trip I took when I was 19 that was like one of the best California trips ever, and I remember my phone at the time broke. And I was phoneless, but my friend had a phone, so I was like, family won't worry about us, we're good. And I remember on that trip, like that trip is so burned in my memory. I had such a good time, and I was so in the moment because I wasn't distracted by anything.
Yeah.
And there is something to that.
There is something to that.
That's what 80s life was like all the time, except for your big brick phone if you're Michael Douglas in Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. When I was recording up in Pine Top, I didn't have service half the time, so I just kept it in a room charging all day, and that was a lot of fun. I remember that better too. I think because when we're on our phones, we're always paying attention to something that is elsewhere, or something that is going to happen, or something that did happen.
As I'm looking at my phone.
Exactly. We're never like in the moment.
But I'm looking at the past right now while I'm in the moment. All right. Sorry, guys.
And you guys will be seeing this after it has already happened. I don't know.
Getting deep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue. I interrupted.
No.
Your train of thought.
I was just saying the same thing basically. When I was in Pine Top, I didn't have very good service, so I kept my phone in my room all day, and I remember that trip more vividly, and it just seemed more fun, and I was just more present. You know,
there's something to it.
Yeah.
Okay. There is this Instagram account I follow called R.K. O'Hara.
Love him.
Reggie Kiyohara.
Big fan.
And he posts all these like premiere pictures from like different events in the 80s. And it just looked so much better. It just looked like such a fun time.
This. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy,
in front of the Batman.
Jack
That's
Nicholson,
good.
River Phoenix,
my God,
Michael Keaton. It's like the Batman premiere. You got Don Johnson, Winona Ryder. But like, look how everyone genuinely looked happier.
I know.
Tom Selleck. It just looked like Van Halen. Like you got Sammy Hagar. Like, didn't that look like a better time?
Yeah.
Even
with
Robert
Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. all coked out. Like,
he looks really bad there.
Oh, that's what's his name?
It's I forgot his name.
Great guy.
Yeah.
But look, everyone is having a fun time.
Yeah, I know.
It truly looked like a better time.
It did.
And I know some people will be like, well, the past was always racist. No. That's you being brainwashed.
Yeah.
That's you being brainwashed. But it looked very accepting in the 80s. And it's like, not everything in the past was racist. That's a horrible thing that this modern era has, where they literally say anything in American history in the past was strictly racist and there was no silver lining.
Right.
I'm talking about the fucking 1980s, okay? The 1980s were not racist. And sure, was there racism everywhere at any point in time? 100%. But saying that an entire era is discredited because you believe it was racist
there's always
the
gonna
dumbest
be,
fucking shit. It's the dumbest fucking shit.
There are always going to be bad parts to any time. Wasn't the AIDS epidemic in the 80s? Or,
yeah.
But I mean, there's always bad aspects to anything.
Yeah,
but,
there's bad in every time.
Yeah.
But I think looking back at the pop culture and looking back at just the vibe of things back then and the movies that were produced and everything and the music that came out of that time, to me, it seemed like a very special time.
Yeah, definitely.
And like same with the 80s, same with the 90s, elements of the 70s and 60s, but the 80s and 90s seemed like a sweet spot.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s are late 80s, early 90s are very special to me.
And I've said this before, it's like, I think after the end of the Vietnam War in the mid-70s, it was almost like the country took a really long, like 2-decade-long vacation. Mm-hmm. And everything seemed like fun and new and exciting.
You're right, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, 80s are where it's at, guys.
We love the 80s.
All right, so
Shout out
as
to
far
the
as
80s.
as far as Halloween goes, we're going to a Halloween party. We're gonna rock it. The release of this is gonna be either the day before Halloween or Halloween Day.
That's
So
right.
no matter where you guys are at in the world, have fun, watch a scary movie, eat some sweets, enjoy yourself, indulge a little
We'll
bit.
be having fun too. Maybe we'll post some pictures. We can post on
Yes.
the YouTube channel now. We can
Yeah,
post
yeah.
pictures and all that stuff.
Oh,
So.
that's cool. Yeah, we can do that.
What are you gonna be?
I'm gonna be Joe Rogan.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a cowboy.
You're gonna be a cow. I thought you were gonna be Elvis.
We switched it. Originally, me and my girlfriend were going to be Elvis and Priscilla Presley.
Oh, Presley. Yeah.
And but now we're going to be two cowboys. A cowboy and a cowgirl.
Brokeback
I guess.
Mountain?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
But straight Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Not as exciting, but
Not as exciting.
yeah, no, I'm gonna be Joe Rogan. We'll post some pics.
Yeah,
we'll post some pics. But I'm super excited. So anyway, guys, happy Halloween! Like, subscribe, and remain unfazed. And thanks for watching.